Okay. So, who does this, all these things? It is the Atma, the self. The power of the self is able creating the new bodies and experience it. Okay. How does he experience? How does that Atma, the self, experience other bodies? I mean, the closest thing I can give you is your dream world. You are sleeping and you have a dream. In the dream, you are exhausted. Your impressions, whatever impressions are there, you are experiencing. But nothing is happening to the dreamer, one who is sleeping. Like that, self enters, creates many bodies, enters them, and experiences them. Okay. Self creates many bodies and enters them and experiences them.
Simultaneously.
Yeah. Experiences them. Right? That self is God. That self is Brahman. That self is supreme reality. That one supreme reality, Brahman, or pure consciousness, pure existence, all of them mean same thing, creates multiple bodies and experience the world through those bodies. It's almost like saying the fire enters, fire lights up the wood, starts burning the wood, but nothing happens to the fire. The wood gets burnt. The air enters the flute and creates music, beautiful music, but nothing happens to the air. Similarly, even though Atma, the self, enters many bodies, experiences life, nothing happens to the self. Nothing happens to Atma. So, as good as saying,
Then who is experiencing?
yeah, the dream character. No? See, the self only is experiencing. See, for example, it's almost same as saying, you had a dream. In the one dream, you became an emperor. Another dream, you can become a beggar. But nothing has happened to you, one who is dreaming. In the dream, you appeared as a beggar. In the dream, you appeared as a king. You experienced that kingdom and experienced as a beggar. But nothing is happening to the real you. So similarly, the real self, nothing happens. The Atma, nothing happens to the self.
The Chidabhasa inside the dream is experiencing the dream character.
Jiva. So the self appears to be experiencing through many bodies the life. Happiness, unhappiness, joy, sorrow and karma. In reality, the self is very different from all this. There's nothing is happening to self. See, here you have to understand the question of levels of reality. Okay? To make you understand, somebody is sleeping and in one dream he becomes an emperor. Next dream he becomes a beggar. So, the beggar and the emperor cannot affect the person who is sleeping because they are lower level reality. They are a different level reality. Okay? Whereas the person who is sleeping is in a different level of reality. One level of reality cannot affect the other level of reality. The experiential reality cannot affect the absolute reality. You understand? So similarly, the Atma, the self, is experiencing the world through many bodies. Going through happiness, joy, sorrows through many bodies. As Jiva, as Chidabhasa. But nothing is happening to the self. Because there's a different level of reality. Absolute reality. Two levels of reality are simultaneously happening. The absolute reality and the dream reality or reality of the experiential reality, they are happening simultaneously. So right now we are in a level of dream level reality. We are appearing, we are listening to talks, we are experiencing joy, happiness, sorrow and life. But question yourself, who am I? What's happening to I? Has your I changed any point of time in your life? The real I? You say, I was born in 20 years back, in 30 years back in Vijayawada. I grew up in Bombay. I am here. Okay, next year I am going to Pune. If you see here, the I has not changed. What is changing? Your body is changing, your mind is changing, your intellect is changing, but I has not changed. Right? That unchanging I is pointing to something which is a different level of reality, which is beyond time and space, which is not in time and space. So deep inside, you know that you belong to that level of reality. That's why you always say you never claim that I changes. Okay? But always you associate yourself with the experiencing reality because you are so engrossed in enjoying that experience. You always associate with the body and mind and say, this is me. So you are confusing I and me. The real I has not undergone any changes. That's absolute reality. That's you. So it is not affected by any bodies. It is not affected by any karma. The real I, real Atma. And that real I is called self, Brahman, God. Everything means same thing. That's consciousness. Just like sun shining in the sky lights up a sinner or a saint, a mountain or a valley, okay, a forest or a stone, ocean or a river, but sun is not affected by anything. Similarly, the self is illuminating all the bodies, okay, all human beings, animals, plants, all bodies are illuminated by self. Self itself is not affected by anything, and that unaffected self is Brahman. And deep inside you know that you are that. That's why you always claim that I never changes. But then why are you confusing I with the body and mind? The self is free from birth and death. Self is free from bondage and liberation. Okay? Self has no birth, no death, no bondage, no liberation. Self is, other name for self is bliss, Ananda. You are that self. This recognition has to happen through the wisdom, Jnana. Then only the cycle of karma will come to an end. Then you will wake up from the dream. Otherwise, the heaven and hell, earthly kingdom and plant kingdom, animal kingdom, all are in the dream level reality. That dream level reality is called Maya.